to have that second causeway and then do the repairs needed to our causeway. The South Padre Island benefits the entire Rio Grande Valley, and I think that we speak as a region when we say that we are ready. We've been waiting since 2001 for that second causeway. We've been told time and time again that it's going to happen, and I understand the economic need for that. And so, how will you ladies be different to ensure that we have that opportunity? Because it does. It impacts Harlingen directly. Our airport, is one of the larger airports in the Rio Grande Valley. We depend on that revenue that comes for individuals that fly in. But what's going to happen the next time there's an event that we can't get those people off the island? I think that if we don't do something soon, that it's not if, it's more when that's going to happen. There's so many things that can go wrong without having that second causeway. So I'm interested to see how you will tackle that. So, ladies.
You made a very important point. That's been a project for over 20 years now. And what's the reason for it? The reason is there's 150 legislators in the Texas House. So 150 people have to vote on a bill. And so one of the things is to provide more funding for a specific city to build a second bridge. Then guess what? 150 people have to vote. And so in here, the thing with us now is that we all need to work together, all the representatives, our senator, and you all, so that we can fight the costs, right? So someone said, well, now you're part of the majority. You're a Republican. You can make it happen. I can't make it happen. I'm just one vote, right? I have to convince 2/3 of 150 representatives to help us pass this. And then we still need to have that vote in the Senate. Then how many senators do we have? 30 something? And they have to vote on it also, right?
Yes.
And it goes back and forth. They can put a bill together and send it to us in the Texas House, and if they don't get the 2/3 vote, it's just gonna stay there, right? And so that's what happens a lot of times when it comes to these bills. And that's why I always tell people, I don't have a magic wand, but I promise you I will fight the hardest, And so that's my hope, that we all work together to try to make some of these things happen that have been prolonged. And I know that at one time there was a consideration of having a toll bridge built, but I believe that the governor didn't want tolls, so it didn't want for us to be impacted, the community to be impacted, and so then now let's work on a different route, so that maybe then the state of Texas can help us to fund it so that it doesn't cost us here locally or the tourists that are coming through, because we do have people that live in Port Isabel. In South Padre Island, you have more of the visitors, right? You have tourists, and so the population there is not residents. The majority of the population is people that are passing by, and so again, definitely having to work on that too.
I think, we've got 3 votes right here, so that's a good start. We're gonna get after it. I think your question was, Mayor, a little bit twofold, and so I think first, in discussing the issue of reinforcing our current infrastructure, that needs to happen immediately. It's a matter of public health and safety, and I know we're gonna bend over backwards to do it. I don't know anyone here who drives over the Queen Isabella Causeway and doesn't instantaneously think about that tragic event. Unfortunately, I do every time. It's a constant reminder. It's not what we want to think when we drive over, our beautiful pathway to paradise there. So we're gonna make sure that happens. I know that, at least me personally, I know the Senator outside of Janie is going to. We've been meeting at least once a month with the Cameron County Regional Mobility Authority. The plans are there. The wheels are in motion. The cogs are ready. But it's an issue of the same way we're fighting with this broken school funding formula, we're fighting with TxDOT. We do not get funded proportionally into what the valley produces. 5% of Texas' economy, GDP, is produced and driven through our ports of entry. Are we funded proportionally to what we give to Texas? No. Other regional mobilities are getting that funding. So we're not just fighting with the ledge, we're fighting with TxDOT to allocate the funds necessary that we need to our community. Do I think that the island as well in the future has the potential to be that massive economic generator, that destination, island for the entire United States? Yeah, we're there. I wanna make that happen. Because when the island wins, South Texas wins, Texas wins. I completely agree. So the plans are there, everything is laid out, but it's an issue of fighting for that proportionate funding that we need from TxDOT here in South Texas. And I know we're gonna do it, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when at this point.
So the causeway is very, very dear to my heart. My dad crossed the bridge about 10 minutes before the bridge collapsed. So it's really important that, for me, that we get this fixed, that we continue to work on the causeway. If anyone's driven over to South Padre recently, one of the lanes are closed because they are going to be continuing to try to reinforce and support the current bridges there. But we do need to work on that second causeway. And now that it's no longer a toll road, we've heard both the governor and lieutenant governor give support for building that causeway. And what's so important about the bridge isn't just that it's another avenue to get to the island and safety, but with that causeway is gonna come an outer loop that's gonna impact Willacy County, Cameron County, and Bell County. And with that's gonna come more drainage infrastructure, more water infrastructure. It's gonna go along with that road system. So that's gonna have a huge impact on our roads, on our flooding issues, and on making sure people can go and come back from the island safely. But with the leadership support and with the new funds coming down from the federal government under bipartisan infrastructure plans, I feel like it's one of our best opportunities to try to get that causeway approved.
So question for